Why should I vote? Ever hear of the old adage, if you don't vote, you can't complain? However true that may be, the reality is there's more at stake than your right to complain. The importance of voting goes much deeper. We as American citizens have the right to be heard. There are so many people who have fought and died to grant us the freedom to vote. I'm going to explain the importance of voting and what could potentially happen if you don't vote. This all started recently when I heard several friends say they weren't voting because the person they wanted for president wasn't a primary candidate anymore. I know how disheartening this can be, especially for those who love their country and hardworking, contributing members of society. But to say you're not voting is laying down and giving up. Today, I'm going to talk about voting for our president. But keep in mind that these same things apply to your local elected officials as well. You can make changes locally by voting for your local leaders too. So, why is it important to vote? Here is the major reason. I know many people say they don't want to vote because the person they were voting for didn't get chosen as a potential candidate. That is no reason not to vote. According to an article in Huffington Post titled 7 Reasons You Should Vote in This Year's Elections, it says, even if the candidate you loathe is destined to win by a landslide, you can make a dent in their margin of victory. That limits how much of a mandate that they can claim once in office, encouraging them to promote more moderate policies so as not to jeopardize their reelection. Conversely, even if you know your preferred candidate will win, adding to her margin of victory can only help her advance her agenda once in office. So, what better reason to vote when your candidate doesn't get the part? At least you still have a say and you can limit their abilities to just take over the White House and do whatever they please. Even if your candidate didn't make the pick, doesn't mean you should just give up and turn your head the other way. This country still needs your vote, and your vote does make a difference. So, how many people actually vote? I found some statistics on this matter, and it's shocking to know that people actually don't vote. The 2008 US Census Bureau says that only 63% of all people registered to vote actually did. And that doesn't seem that bad until you realize that only 72% of Americans are even registered to vote. In reality, only 45% of America is even voting in these elections, even though they could determine the fate of the country. That's by The Importance of Voting by Hattie Liddell. This whole idea is scary. Only 45% of Americans are determining our fate. We all need to stand up for our rights. We all need to exercise our rights. This isn't about voting for who we like. This is about making sure our children have a democracy when they are parents. If we don't do something now, there won't be anything for our children.